Christmas, and you know what that means. Booze, food, and crap TV. Unless you're like me, in which case Christmas means booze, and Netflix. Pretty much like any other day, really, but no matter how you feel about the festive season, we can all be thankful at the very least for a day off of work. Unless you're a feminist working for the HuffPost, in which case you never take a day off from being offended, as shown by this very merry video.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Oh, there goes my ad revenue then. Thanks for making me use a copyrighted song, HuffPost.
Recently, we've woken up to the song's more date-rapey undertones.
Or you're applying the modern values of the hard left to a song that was recorded long before your ridiculous little standards came about in an attempt to get people to look upon previous decades like we would the times of the slave trade. That is with an air of, I can't believe people did that, which smells to me like an act of desperation to stay relevant in a world that is gradually seeing it no longer needs feminism. Or you're just being a little bitch. I don't know.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I'm only saying something here in the hope that using 3 seconds of the song at a time will somehow count as a sample, but let's face it, this video isn't getting monetized anyway. And how was that rapey? He's just a man sitting next to a woman trying to get his end away. He's hoping for a white Christmas all over her face.
I've got to go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
But Baby It's Cold Outside is still everywhere during the holiday season.
I wonder if that has anything to do with it being a fucking Christmas song. And where were you when Lady Gaga and Joseph Gordon-Levitt covered it in the 2013 Lady Gaga and the Muppets Holiday Spectacular? It's been covered no less than 25 times, woman, and 10 of those were this fucking decade.
And some are trying to save the song's reputation. A common excuse is, oh,
that's just how people talked back then. It's a sign of the times.
Well, he's not wrong. I know you want that statement to come across as wrong, which is why you got a white male to say it. Because anything a white male says is automatically incorrect and offensive. But no, I think that might be the one part of the video that makes any fucking sense. HuffPost, baby, making issues out of nothing since 2005.
But if you dig a little bit deeper, it becomes clear that the male character was always intended to be a predator.
It's a fucking song! It's not some kind of subliminal propaganda designed to instill ambitions of rape in the male brain. And how is he a predator? He's saying it's cold outside, not get in the fucking van. Only in the current year is that a legitimate question. And I have no idea what a date rape anthem would even entail. Maybe you're in the club, throwing shapes in the church of dance, and then you hear the opening chords and you're like, oh, it's my song, gonna rape a bitch. And the dance involves putting a small pill into someone's unattended drink.
In the original sheet music, the characters aren't written as man and woman or him and her.
Don't bring your pronoun bullshit into this. I cannot today. It's Christmas. And if the sheet music doesn't specify the parts for a man and a woman, how was the man always intended to be a predator, like you said? Eh?
It's wolf and mouse, hunter and hunted, stalker and victim.
Is that your basis for this entire argument? 2 words on the sheet music. How many mice do you think a wolf hunts in a day, woman? You'd think they want something a little more filling, wouldn't you? And putting aside the fact that both wolves and mice can be male and female, how the fuck is the guy in the song a stalker? She's in his house. Either he's not stalking her, or he's so good at it that he doesn't even need to get out of his chair.
Now, in an effort to make the song more palatable, the gender roles are increasingly being reversed.
Hold on, it was a fucking date rape anthem a minute ago, but reverse the genders and it's more palatable, is it? Switch them around and it becomes wholesome all of a sudden, maybe even empowering. No one would have had a problem with blurred lines if Beyonce sang it. Now that sounds like a joke, but seriously, no one would have had a problem with blurred lines if Beyonce sang it.
Like most recently with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Lady Gaga.
Ah, you did mention the Muppets Holiday Spectacular, but I guess you're alright with that one because now it's the woman who's being rapey. The woman is the wolf, the hunter, the stalker, and that's fine. Pick a fucking side, you cockwomble.
Or even Michael Bublé and Miss Piggy.
Oh man, Miss Piggy is such a thirsty hoe though. Especially now she's not with Kermit anymore. I'm not gonna say anything more about that because I'm still kind of upset about it. But I'm just saying, Miss Piggy would have no problem singing the mouse part in that song. In fact, I doubt she'd even try to leave. It would be the only version where the guy is trying to get rid of the girl. Excluding Jimmy Fallon on Saturday Night Live 2013, but we don't count Jimmy Fallon for anything.
But let's face it, not even Mother Monster or a Muppet can make this any better.
I've got to get home.
But baby, it freezes out there.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. There's not a lot worse than someone forcing vibrato because they think it makes them a good singer. I blame the X Factor for that. Now every fucker's singing like they'd rather hold their windpipe than a fucking note.
Say, lend me a coat.
It's up to your knees out there.
The host ignores his lady friend's request for a coat to try and force her to stay the night.
Or maybe he likes his coat and would like to keep it. We all know what females are like when it comes to stealing a man's clothes. Nothing is sacred. They'll even take your underwear. But when a man steals a woman's underwear, I'm a pervert and not allowed in that neighborhood anymore.
He's denying her the agency to make her own decision to leave.
Because he wouldn't give her a coat. Where's her coat? She knew it was cold. Cold doesn't come out of nowhere. There are seasons. I'm starting to think she wants to stay the night, you know? I mean, the song is from the 40s. Ladies didn't make a huge show of trawling for the D back then. They were a little more subtle about it than the sluts of today. Don't get me wrong, not everyone was a lady, but they weren't rocking down the street chanting "show me that dick" either.
The neighbors might think.
Baby, it's bad out there.
Hey, bro, you can do better than that.
Say what's in this drink.
No caps to be had out there.
What's in this drink? Could the seasonal scumbag date rape alarm be going off any louder right now?
Alcohol! She's talking about alcohol! There's no way Frank Lois... Lois? There's no way Frank would have written in a line about Rohypnol. No fucking way. Giving a girl an alcoholic beverage isn't date rape. It's seduction. If it weren't for that, then you wouldn't exist. So, shit, actually, I'm starting to see a point.
This feels less romantic date and more nightmare starring Bill Cosby.
Fucking hell. The Huffington Post are so far left that even when they joke about a rapist, the first example they use will be a person of color. Well, what about all the white rapists, eh? Don't they deserve a shout? Even I was offended by that. Fucking hell.
I ought to say no,
Mind if I move in closer?
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my pride?
Even though she says no 3 times, the guy still advances.
She said I ought to say no, as in I should say no, as in I'm not saying no. But she's also not saying yes, because it was the 40s. Women made a man work for it back then. Most women would say put a ring on my finger. But sure, some women said put your finger in my ring. You might also notice he didn't advance. He actually asked if she would mind his moving in closer. That's the lyrics. You made the guy singing the song physically moving closer. That was you.
And then when she doesn't consent, it's all about his hurt feelings.
Oh yeah, because whenever a man turns down a woman's sexual advances, the next 30 minutes go fucking smoothly, don't they? No one storms out and starts crying until her friends comfort her with the suggestion that he's probably gay. True story, right? One time I met a woman at a pub and she tried it on with me, but it turns out she was married. So I said no, and for some reason that made me the asshole. True fucking story.
What, are we supposed to care about this guy's toxic, wounded masculinity?
It's a song. The guy isn't real. Your perceived date rape isn't real. So no, you're not expected to care about his bruised ego, but you're not expected to be a cunt about it either.
It's fucked.
You're fucked. What's wrong with your eyes?
Look, this isn't part of the war on Christmas. You can keep Charlie Brown, keep eggnog, keep Santa Claus.
And you can keep churning this bollocks out, can't you? At least the war on Christmas is an annual affair, whereas this bullshit is getting spouted all year round. It's just you've done it with a Christmas theme. Holy shit, I just described my own video.
We can even keep those ugly ass knit sweaters. They're kind of cute.
You just said they were ugly. How can they be cute? Fucking hell, you really put the moron in oxymoron, don't you? In fact, that sentence really sums up the Huffington Post.
But Baby It's Cold Outside is one Christmas tradition we should leave exactly where it belongs. in the past.
I can't help but think the most effective way of doing that would be to not make a video about it on a YouTube channel with well over 250,000 subscribers, but fuck. Sometimes feminists just need to complain about something, don't they? Don't matter what.
Ugh.
Aw, don't feel bad, Brown Rapey Man. It wasn't you that disgusted her. It was that cardigan. Maybe you should have slipped something in her drink, you know? You'd get your leg over and the Huffington Post would actually be right about something. It's a win-win. So anyway, thus endeth a very drunken Christmas, and this video made me want to soak my liver in something extremely flammable. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider becoming a patron or a supporter because it's the season of goodwill, you cunts. The links are in the description, and I might be a bit of a Scrooge myself, mainly in that I don't really like the holidays, but also because I love that money. But I wish you a very, very rape-free Christmas, and remember, the only Christmas spirits visiting my house are whiskey and vodka.